Welcome to This is Halloween. You know, Halloween is unique in that it's not like Mother's Day. It's not like the 4th of July. Some people hate Halloween. If you are like me, you love Halloween. You wouldn't be here if you didn't love Halloween, or at least like Halloween. But Halloween is subjective. It all depends, really, truly, on what you mean by Halloween. So tonight, in the next hour, we're going to look at 3 ways of looking at Halloween. The first one is ritual. So if you're a little nervous, now's the time to leave. Then we're going to look at divination, looking into the future, 2026. And then haunting. Now I asked some people to think of a person as they were coming into the room, and not only to think it, but to write down the first name, and we have some names. But if you didn't have a chance to do that, you will during the lecture. So think of a loved one, because the last part of this is about haunting. So those 3 things: ritual, divination, and haunting. Now some people think that Halloween is an American tradition. It goes back years and years and years. I was in Dublin one year and I came home. I was there for Halloween. And it was a wonderful time. It was a magical time. And I came back and I said to my family, I was in Dublin on Halloween. And they said, oh, I didn't know they celebrated Halloween. That's where it all began. 2,500 years ago. And if you go to the hills of Tara, they'll tell you that it goes back 5,000 years. This is in our DNA. It's the idea that we remember the dead. We take time to remember the fact that we also will die. And we also think of our ancestors. The Celtic people recognize a way of looking at time totally different than the way that we do. We look at time, we look at the clock, we look at the seasons, we look at January, March. They saw time as a circle. It had a beginning, which was birth. Then it had abundance. Then it had death. And they recognized that this cycle continued forever. If you've ever been to Stonehenge or you've been to Newgrange, you see these circles. And it's this understanding that time doesn't begin and end, but time goes around and around and around. And so the past and the future become one. And so the way that they looked at time and the way that they looked at the world was connected to the seasons, especially 2,500 years ago. I mean, we have all the commodities that we need. We can go to the store anytime we want. But picture somebody 2,500 years ago. This was a time of darkness. This was a time of death. This was a time that everyone asked the same question in the community, in the tribe. And the question was simple: will I survive the darkness? Will I survive the winter? See, they only saw 2 seasons, the light season and the dark season. And if they did everything well in the light season, they would be fully prepared. October 31st was known as Samhain, the end of summer. It was a time that they looked at the world like a hinge between light and darkness. A time where time did not have limitations. It was neither in the light season nor in the dark season. It was in the in-between. And it was in this time of in-between that they believed that their ancestors could visit them. But they also believed that evil spirits could visit them as well. So they would make a bonfire high on the hills. They would bring down the cattle that were weak. They would slaughter the cattle that wouldn't make it, or the animals that wouldn't make it through the winter. They would spread the blood over the harvest field with the hope that there would be abundance in the light time of the year. And most of all, they were asking themselves, will I survive this? Samhain, the end of the summer. It was also a time to take an offering and place it outside of the village to appease the spirits. It was also a time to put on masks, an animal mask, because one way to be protected from the evil spirits is to look like one of them. And so this is the tradition that goes back 2,500 years. Now, to be fair, I don't know everything about it because it was the Romans that told us what the Druids were doing. And for political reasons, they would not tell the truth all the time. So we don't know for certain everything that happened. But we do know this. It was a time of ritual, it was a time of divination, and it was a time of haunting. When the Romans came in, they brought their tradition as well. They had gods, Pomona, the god of the apple, the god of fertility. And so when the Romans took over, the holiday or the season of Samhain was mingled with Irish and Roman traditions. And it was kind of strange because what happened is you had a holiday or a season of death, but you also had a season of fertility, which is the apple. It also was a time of magic. It was a time of divination. So when these traditions absorbed each other, they evolved and they changed. So we don't know exactly what these people did, but we know what the church did. The church was jealous. They knew that they couldn't compete with all of this paganism. And by the way, the word pagan simply means rural, people of the land, people who look to the sun, the stars, and the seasons to survive. And so when Christianity began to influence itself in the British Isles and Scotland and Ireland, they said we need to absorb this deep tradition of ritual, of divination, and also of the spirit world. So it was Pope Gregory III that said, let's move May 13th to November 1st. Anybody know what that's called? All Saints' Day. Gregory IV made it universal with All Souls' Day. So they were hoping to bring this holiday together with the pagans so that they could celebrate together. During the Middle Ages, the people went door to door. They didn't necessarily say trick or treat, but what they did say is, we'll pray for your loved one. We'll pray for those people in purgatory if you could give us a gift. And it was really a gesture of love and charity. They would give them these soul cakes. And as these children and poor people would eat these soul cakes, they would remember and pray for their loved ones out of purgatory. Years later, it became guising, where kids would disguise themselves and play games and trick or treat. And so this evolved until the Irish came to America, bringing all of these traditions of carving a pumpkin, of saying trick or treat, of dressing up, having bonfires. And then, of course, today, what do we have? We have the spirit of Halloween. We have a commercial holiday. But it has evolved through the centuries. So that's a little bit about the history. Are you ready to have some fun? Okay, good. All right, so the only thing that someone was thinking about during this time was, will I survive? Now, my birthday's on Christmas. I'm a Capricorn. I'm looking for someone that is born close to Hallows Eve. Anybody? Oh, good, good, good. Anybody else? We have two. When's your birthday?
November 1st.
Oh, excellent. When's your birthday?
November 2nd.
Okay. All right. We didn't work this out, did we? No. We've never met, right? We've never met. Okay. Would you stand and tell everybody your name?
Kathy.
Kathy. Kathy, you can stay right there. So, Kathy, we haven't worked this out. You promise that we haven't arranged anything.
Yes, I promise.
Okay. And we've never met before.
Well, I saw you outside.
Yes. But it's not like you're my friend on Facebook,
No.
and you don't know me.
No.
And you seem happy about that. So, Kathy, do you spell it with a C or a K?
K.
Okay, Kathy with a K. Give her a round of applause. Kathy with the K. Now, by the way, if you come up and help or you have some participation, I will not embarrass you. We will have some fun together. Because really, truly, Halloween or All Hallows Eve, it's about fun and games, trick-or-treating. So the only thing that someone was concerned about was survival. Am I going to survive, right? That's all they were thinking about. So, Kathy, I have here some numbers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, as I say this, I want you to think of one number. Don't say it, just think of it. So think it in your head. Get one number, have it clear. I'll show you what I got here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now one of them, Kathy, one of them should jump out at you. And in the sense that you say, Greg, I know which one I want. Kathy, which one is it?
Can I tell you now?
Tell everybody.
5.
I can't believe this. I've been doing this last year. I did this 25 times in October, this year 15. And in all the times that I've been doing this, 5 has only showed up tonight and last night. That's it. It's insane. So 5. Now I'm not going to ask you to change your mind at all. Now Kathy, had you chose 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, this is what you would have gotten. You will survive, 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 Kathy.
I mean, what happened? What am I going to do?
It says you will thrive. You were thinking the worst.
No.
Okay. So you're very optimistic.
Yes.
Okay, that's why I picked you. But I'm not done with you. So that was a trick or treat. We're going to play another game and see if you can win. It's called trick or treat. It's really simple. I have 3 envelopes. This is not numbers. It's A, B, and C. Very simple. A, B, and C. In this book, I have A, I have B, and I have C. We haven't worked this out either.
No, but I get a piece of chocolate after. So.
You're gonna get a treat. Yes. For the abuse that I'm putting you through, you will have a reward. That is absolutely true. You will have a reward. I promise you that. All right. So Kathy,
Yes.
you can pick A, you can pick B, or you can pick C. Now this is what I call trick or treat. What would you like?
C, please.
C. All right. Had you picked, I'm going to put C up here, had you picked B, it would be trick. All right? So far, things are working out for you. You picked C, trick. And the only one that has the treat in it is, I was hoping that you were going to pick this. Well, I'll give you that. Treat A. We'll give her an applause for participating. Oh, thank you. Well, listen, we're not done yet, Kathy. I feel really bad about this. So I tricked you twice, right? I tricked you twice. Does anybody know, Kathy, do you know the story of Stingy Jack? Do you know it? Do you know it? Does anybody know the... Does anybody, I mean, we have like 40 people here. This is wonderful. Thanks for coming out tonight. Does anybody know the story of Stingy Jack? No? Okay. So let me tell you the story, Kathy, of Stingy Jack. So I have some cups here. We looked at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We looked at A, B, and C. Kind of tricked you. I feel bad. But now I have 1, 2, and 3. I would like you to pick 2 numbers. 2 numbers. Tell me now.
1, 2.
1 and 2. That's good. So 1 and 2. So let me tell you the story of Stingy Jack. This is a true story. Stingy Jack was a person in the trades that loved to work with his hands, but there was a problem with him. He was stingy. Hey, Stingy Jack. He was not only stingy, but he was also a trickster. And he didn't always tell the truth. So he's in Dublin, he's in Ireland, and he's got this reputation of not being generous. Not generous at all. And he's so stingy, and he's a liar, and he's a con artist, and everybody knows who Stingy Jack is. Now, his father had died, finally his mother died, and he sold everything that his mom had because he had a money problem, plus he had a little bit of a drinking problem as well. He loved the booze. He loved to go to the bar and just drink in Dublin and Ireland. And what happened was he sold everything except one item, his mom's Bible. He kept his mom's Bible in the pocket. So one day he goes to the bar, and he's sitting in the bar, in the tavern, and he's sitting next to a gentleman that he really hits it off with. They get along splendidly. Very good. I mean, they have great rapport. And they're talking hours. Now, if you've ever been to Ireland, you go to a bar, I mean, it's wonderful there. It's very family-oriented. There's great crack, and I mean that in a good way. It's fun. It's fun. And so Jack is sitting over here talking to this guy, and they just hit it off. And he says, you know, I really like you, Jack. You know, you're able to con people. You're able to trick people. You're able to manipulate people. You're a little stingy. And Jack's like, yeah, I know. You know, fine. After a couple hours of this shenanigans, Jack finally says to the man over there, you know, I feel bad. I haven't asked you your name. What's your name? And the man looks at Jack and he says, Jack, you don't know who I am. You don't recognize me at all. Jack, I'm the devil, and I'm here to take your soul. And Jack's like, well, I've been stingy, I've tricked people, I haven't been following the ways of my mother. I kind of deserve this. But I have no money. I don't know why we're going to pay the tab. And finally, Jack has an idea. He says, Satan, turn yourself into a silver coin and we'll pay the tab one more time and then we'll trick the bartender. And Satan says, yeah, I like the way you think, Jack. I like the way you think. You kind of think like me. And so the devil turns himself into the silver coin, and Jack takes the coin and he puts it into his mom's Bible and he closes it. And he says to Satan, I have tricked you. And the devil is very upset. Damn you, Jack. I was ready to take your soul to hell, but you've tricked me. Fair enough, Jack. If you let me go, I will spare you for 10 years. So Jack says, fine, I can change my ways in 10 years. Things will look rosy in 10 years. So he takes the coin out of the Bible, and the devil turns back, and the devil vanishes. Nothing. He thinks to himself, whew, I have just escaped death. I have just escaped Satan. And you would think he would amend his ways with that kind of grace, with that kind of trickery, but you know, sometimes people don't change. Everybody's life is either an example or a warning, and for Jack, his life was a warning. Jack continued to be stingy. Jack continued to con people. Jack continued to not have money. And you would think that Jack would change, having a decade to change his ways, but he doesn't. He doesn't change. And eventually, 5 years goes by, and 10 years goes by, and eventually the devil appears. Jack, I'm here. Time is up. It's time to take your soul. Jack's like, okay, all right, fine. I haven't changed my ways. I love my drink. I've conned people. I've tricked people. It's just fair that you take my soul. 1 and 2, choose 1 or 2.
I would choose 1.
Jack says, I only have one request. Before I go to hell with you, I just want one more pleasure. One more earthly pleasure. That tree there, that apple there, it looks delicious. Can you go up to the top of that tree and give me that apple? Let me just eat of that apple and let the juices come down so that I can remember this feeling for eternity. And the devil says, all right, fine. It all began with an apple, why not? Why not? Why not? So the devil says to him, sure. The devil goes up to the tree, grabs the apple, and while the devil is up in the top of the tree, Jack carves 3 crosses in the trunk of the tree, and he tricks the devil. The devil was like, damn you, Jack. You tricked me again. You tricked me 10 years ago, and now you're tricking me again. If you let me down, I promise I will never, ever have access to your soul. Jack thinks, wow, I've tricked and I've conned the devil. And he did. Devil disappears, and Jack was able to escape death the second time. Now you would think that Jack, given all of this grace and all of this mercy, he would amend his ways. You would think that he would say to himself, I have to stop being a con artist, I have to stop being a trickster, I have to stop with the drink, I need to straighten my life out. But some people, no matter what happens to them, they continue on the broad way. And what happens is, Jack does not survive the winter of Samhain. He doesn't survive. He's found on the side of the road, in a ditch, dead because of his drinking. And so he dies. And finally, he goes up to heaven and he says to St. Peter, he says, St. Peter, have mercy on me. And St. Peter looks through the book and says, Jack, stingy Jack, I don't find your name. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jack. So Jack, full of remorse, goes down to hell and he says to the devil, listen, you and I have a lot in common. You like to con people, you like to enslave people, you like to trick people. We're like the same. Let me into hell. Let me into hell. And the devil says, Jack, you tricked me twice. I'm not letting you into hell at all, but I'll have mercy on you. So he reaches down into the pit of hell, and he takes out an ember or a coal, and he tosses it to Jack. And Jack takes it and puts it in a turnip, and he walks around without a soul looking for a place to dwell. And when our Irish immigrants came to America, they did something a little different than that. They put it into, this is for you, by the way, this is yours. They put it into a pumpkin, just like this. That's what they did. So, tradition, ritual. Every time you carve a pumpkin, remember Stingy Jack. Because what Stingy Jack is doing is he's wandering without a place to go. And every time you carve a pumpkin and put it on your porch on Halloween, you are protecting yourself from the soul. Thank you, but I want you to get the message. The message is, every single person in here, every person that you know, your life is either an example to follow or a warning. All I can tell you is, don't be like Stingy Jack. Kathy,
Yes.
did you get your treat?
Yeah, but I think I should have swapped my candy for what you're drinking.
We're close enough. Have a swing. Have a swing, Kathy. Come on up here. Come on up here, Kathy. Come here. Just stand up here and be right. Look under that cup, Kathy.
What's going to jump out?
Nothing, my love. That is for you. I tricked you again! So, the pumpkin is a symbol of Halloween because of Stingy Jack. That's where we get the story of the pumpkin. So if you're carving a pumpkin, you don't know why you're doing it, that's the story. But the other story is the Romans. Remember, the Romans brought in their gods, and they had a tradition of divination with the apple and fertility with the apple, which makes Halloween really interesting because not only is it a celebration of death and darkness, it's also a symbol of fertility, hope, magic, and wanting to know what the future is. How many of you bobbed for apples, or did when you were kids, right? That is a fertility ritual. You would bob for apples, and whoever caught the apple in their mouth knew that they were going to have a great year, or they were going to marry someone. The other thing that people would do is they would take the apple and they would carve it, and whoever threw it over their backside and then looked at it, whatever the initial was, right, the initials behind them, that would be an indication of who they were going to marry. Now remember, 2,500 years ago, the only thing that was on your mind as you went into November 1st was, am I going to survive? And a lot of people wanted to know the future. So this is where we're talking about divination. How many of you believe in divination? Or how many of you believe in seeing the future? Anybody here? Anybody here? All right, let's see if we can try something together. A couple of years ago, I started with tarot cards. And tarot cards are... Can we bring up the lights just a little bit? That would be wonderful. I don't know if we can do that. Tarot cards give you an indication of the future. So I have some tarot cards here. I'd like to do a reading on someone. You raised your hand, didn't you? Okay. Could you stand? All right. And what's your name?
Jean.
Jean. Have you ever had a reading before?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I had one Sunday.
You did. Was it good?
Yes.
And what did they say?
I have to make a lot of changes
Okay.
in order for good things to happen.
Well, that's a good reading, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody's life is an example or a warning. Doesn't mean your life is going bad. However, you can look at where you are now, make some changes. Would you like to play along?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to give you these cards. Don't look at them. Okay? Don't look at them. That's good. And I'm going to go with my intuition. Is that okay? I'm going to go with my intuition. Some of you may want to help. Some of you may not want to help. But I'm just going to go with my intuition. Okay. Would you help me? Okay, good. Good. Just face forward. Just face forward. Good. Stand up that thing. Would you help me? Okay, stand up. Would you help me? Good. And would you help me? Okay. Everybody, if you got some cards, just stand up. Oh, and you can't stand, that's okay. You're good to stand. She's got, all right. So raise your right hand if you promise we haven't worked this out. We haven't worked this out. We've never met, right? Okay. So this is the part of the lecture that I cannot control because I'm really tapping into my intuition. Let me tell you a little bit about my background. Yes, I started as a magician. However, my mom was very intuitive. She loved the Roman Catholic Church. She was somewhat of a fanatic, but she also loved Billy Graham too. She would send money to Billy Graham. She'd send money to the Pope. She also listened to Wayne Dyer. I grew up very confused, very confused. But my mom she had this gift of intuition, Italian. I was talking to somebody earlier. My mom, Italian, I come from a big Italian family, Castruccio. My sister's a Pisces. She knows things. She knows things. I know things. Let me tell you a true story. My good friend Jerry, who I've known for 35 years, he just passed away in February. Now this is a true story. In January, I reached out to him and I said, "You okay?" On the internet, right? On the internet, I reached out to him. Then I sent him a message on the 18th of February. And I typed him, I sent a message to him, and that was 12:08. He died 4 minutes later. He got up from his chair, he walked over, sat down, took his last breath. I knew it before it happened. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask you to hold the cards to your chest, don't look at them, and just think about something that is important to you. Your future, right? Your future, right? Your future. So there's no way I would know about your future. I would not know about, other than the fact that you hurt your leg. How did you hurt your leg? How did you do it? You okay?
Yeah.
You're okay. And I don't know you either. Okay, so let's try this. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to tap into my mother's intuition. And I'm going to tap into my intuition. We'll see if this works. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm still leaving with the check. Okay? All right. So here's what we're going to do. Don't look at your cards. Shuffle them. Shuffle your deck. Shuffle yours. Shuffle yours. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Okay, good. Don't look at them so you can hold them down. Now, as you're shuffling, think of something that's important to you that I would never know. Something about your survival, something about next year, something to do with your family, something to do with love, something to do with money, right? Travel. Okay, so shuffle them as you're thinking about your issue. Good. All right, now, trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. Here's what you're going to do. I'll have you go first. You're going to pick one card and hold it up towards your throat. Good. And you can choose anyone. Okay, good. I'm going to have you do the same thing. Pick any card in that. Go ahead. Just pick anyone. Hold it right up to here. Good, 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 good. And if you could do the same, just any card you want. Hold it up here. Nobody sees it. Got it? And then if you could take one, put it up here. Oh, where's the other ones? So left, right, and then do the same thing. Sir, can I ask you to help? Can you collect the cards that are down towards the floor, not the one that they're holding? So you're holding one up. Good, good, good. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll have a talk later, believe me. I've been doing this for a couple years, and people come up to me afterwards. They want to talk to me about what has happened in their life, and I'm very open to that. I think we close at 8, so if you have a story, they're all different, right, sir? Take a look at it. I'd love to hear your stories afterwards. I can tell you stories. They're all different, right? Yes. Every single one of them. Yeah. Thank you. All right, now you're not done yet. What's your first name?
Bruce.
Give him a hand. He didn't know he was going to help. Okay. So now I'd like you for the very first time to peek or look at your card and memorize it. Go ahead, do that now. Memorize it. Look at your card, memorize it. Memorize it. Look at your card, memorize it. The lady in green, look at your card and memorize it. And the lady all the way in the back, look at your card and memorize it. Now, focus on that card. Okay, so you know your card, you know your card, you know your card. Know your card? Lady in green's got it? Okay. Go and pick them up. You can pick them up from the beginning right here. He's going to take them and he's going to shuffle them. Okay. And they're all shuffled. There's no way that I would know, right?
Right.
Okay. Give him one more round of applause. Okay, thanks, sir. All right. We're going to start with the cards. Now, I will tell you the truth. When I started reading cards for myself, a lot of people ask me for readings. I get requests all the time. I refer to a person by the name of Mark Iwanicki because I'm too busy. Last week I was on the road, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, Vermont. I mean, it's all over the place. So I don't have the time to do it, but if you want a reading, I can refer you to someone, but we're going to do a reading here real quick. If it means something to you, you're going to have a seat if I did the reading well, all right? And that's how we're going to know that I said something that was of value to you. So let's look at the first card. Oh, okay, the Empress. All right. This is a person that is tapping into her maternal spirit. This is the Empress. This is a person that is taking ownership of their life. It is a feminine card, obviously. It is different from the Emperor, right? So this is a person that knows that their strength, all right? And my mother used to say it all the time. When I was a kid, she used to say all the time, "Give me strength." And I'd look at her and say, "Mom, what are you talking about?" I was holy hell. I was really a challenging person. So she would say, "Give me strength." This is a person that knows that their strength is their femininity. It is their intuition, okay? Now it's either, okay, so we're all, yeah, okay, so let's see. Now, poker face, because if you start smiling, I'll know it's yours. So let's see if we can figure this out. How many of you know the amazing Kreskin? You remember him?
Yeah.
So I had here's the story. When I was in high school in 1980, 1981, I was sitting in the audience in the New Fairfield High School, and Kreskin called up a bunch of people to do an experiment. It was hypnosis. And I was left on the stage, and we worked together. I was 15, 18 years old. You know, I was a young kid. But in the last 5, 6, 7 years, I got to know Kreskin. In fact, the last time I talked to him was on his birthday. I called his office, and the office gave me his telephone number, his cell phone. I was like, this is amazing. He was like, this is a person I idolize. He was on Johnny Carson like 100 times. If you go to my YouTube, you can see an interview or hear an interview that I did with the amazing Kreskin. And he took me under his wing. He was such a nice guy to me. He was really nice. And I have learned a lot from him. I'm going to go with my intuition. Don't sit down, don't react, because I'm going to give this card out. I may get it wrong. The other night I switched it the last minute because I was off. I was off by 1. So I'm going to go with my instinct. I'm going to go with my gut. Don't say yes or no, just hold that card. We still have more. Okay, we still have more. This is the next card. Oh, I love this card. Okay. This has energy that is a masculine energy, sun, but it's success. I love pulling this card, and I'll tell you why. October 31st is about darkness, right? You go into the darkness, but the next stage is the winter solstice. That's December 21st, and that's when the sun comes back. And so any person that goes into the darkness of Samhain knows that the sun is going to appear. And even though they may have had challenging times, right? We all do. They know that things are going to get better. It's hope. It's masculine energy. I don't know if that applies to anybody here, but it's definitely masculine energy. But it's the person on the horse. It's very hopeful. Very hopeful. I guess it's a cliche, but I would say you have a very bright future. You have a very bright future. Okay. I'm just going to go with my intuition. Just hold it. Don't say anything. I got another card. All right. Oh, this comes up almost every night. Yep. And this is very misunderstood. Very misunderstood. I'm a Capricorn. My birthday is Christmas, right? Yeah, people ask me about gifts and all this, but this is the devil. Now, the devil is not a bad card. I'll tell you why. The devil card, he's got his hand pointing up above and below, as above and as below. But the two people below here are chained. The devil card, depending if it's upside down or if it's right side up, has to do with piercing past the illusion of the things that control us. It's about freedom. It's recognizing that money or fame or the things that hold us down, they're not real. And it's in the process of breaking through the illusions of the things that hold us back that we are truly free. I guess Jordan Peterson or Carl Jung would talk about embracing our dark side. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. In fact, Jordan Peterson would say something that's very radical. He'd say, embrace your monster. And what he means by that is, when you face your deepest fear, then your fear goes away. I'm going to go all the way back here. Don't react, just hold on to the card for a second. And let's see what I got left. I think I have two cards. Oh, I love this. So this is the opposite of the devil. Now, what's interesting is the devil is like this. So is the person above here. It's a divine entity, up here and up here. There's a man and there's a woman. This is the lover card. Now, what's interesting about this is the man is looking to the woman. The woman is not looking to the man. She's looking up to the divine. This is complete harmony. The man needs the woman needs the man. They both need the divine. They need the universal spirit. This is the lover card, and it has to do with making some changes. Yeah, making some changes. Yeah, that's yours. Now, the last card, I'm not even going to look at. Who haven't I given a card to? Oh, I haven't given a card to you. Okay. Tell me your first name.
Linda.
Linda. Tell me if this makes sense to you, and this way I'll know if this is the right card. It's about looking at life in a different perception, different way of seeing things. Maybe something's happened and you say, wait a minute, let me look at it this way. Have you ever felt that way? Have you looked at things differently, and when you looked at things differently, things have changed for you?
Sure.
Okay. Give me an example.
It would be a long story.
Okay, so the short story is, have you ever lost a job?
No,
Okay. Have you ever been hurt by a relationship falling apart?
of course.
And have you looked at it differently and said, wow, I'm glad that happened?
Of course.
Rejection is God's protection. So here's what I'd say. This is the hangman. Yep, it is. It's upside down. So the hangman is a person, I think this is your card, you kind of gave it away, but the hangman, the person is looking at things differently. It's not about suicide, it's not about death, it's about, wait a minute, this stuff has happened to me, but now that I look at it differently, this is a blessing and not a curse. I think this is your card. If I gave you your right card, or I said anything that was meaningful to you, I would like you to have a seat and pass your card to the end. Did I get it? Did I get it? I got it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Son. Thank you, thank you. And all this applause is for you. All right, so what have we done? We've looked at ritual, we looked at the pumpkin, we looked at Jack, we looked at the stories of trick or treat, which go back 2,500 years. Divination wasn't just a parlor trick. People took it seriously. They would look into mirrors. They wanted to know their future. They'd look at tea leaves. They'd look at cards. They would throw rocks on the ground. They'd throw sticks on the ground. This is what people did 2,500 years ago because they were asking themselves this question. Will I survive the winter? Will I survive the darkness? And they also recognized that the veil was thin. The veil was thin. And what that meant was they wanted to make a connection with their loved one. Has anyone ever heard of a dumb supper? A dumb supper. Okay, good. Can we bring the lights down? I don't know if Beth is still here, but if we could bring the lights down in the auditorium, that would be wonderful. So a dumb supper, let me tell you a little bit about a dumb supper. Thank you, guys. So a dumb supper was a table, let me show you. This is what a dumb supper looked like. Dumb. They would set a table just like this. And they would set a chair that was for their loved one, right? And they would sit here and they would have a dinner. They wouldn't say a word. And the reason why they didn't say a word is they were hoping that their loved one would give them a sign, right? So this is a dumb supper. They would literally sit on October 31st. They prepare a meal without saying anything. What they were looking for was a sign, any sign. Cardinal lands on the tree in front of the window. The wind chimes, something happens, and they think to themselves, wow, someone's looking out after me, right? That's what they would think. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it through the winter. My mom's here. My dad's here. I know that I'm not alone. And so a dumb supper was an opportunity to call in the spirits. Now let me ask you this. How many of you have bells on your doors? Right? You're all pagans. You're all pagans, because that's what pagans would do. They would put bells, they would put chimes, because they believed that they were getting messages. Now this is ancient wisdom. This goes back thousands and thousands of years. However, Hollywood picked up on this in the year 1978. This was the year my mom died. I remember this. We were doing a party, a Halloween party in New Fairfield, Connecticut. We were all watching the movie. Do you know what movie came out that year? Halloween, yeah. And Hollywood picked up on this tradition of let's scare the hell out of people, and they came up with all of these crazy movies, horror movies, which I don't necessarily like. But one of the ones that has become very famous in the last couple years is something that you're probably familiar with, and let me show it to you.
Oh, no.
You know what this is?
Annabelle?
Yeah, Annabelle. So do I show it or not? Okay. So, Ed and Lorraine Warren, I met them at the Edmond Town Hall back in the early 70s when I was practicing magic. So I would travel around doing magic shows, and they had come to the Edmond Town Hall in Connecticut. And I remember sitting in the audience with my hands like this, like my arms. I didn't believe in anything supernatural at all. Nothing, right? I believed they were tricksters. I believed they were con artists. I didn't believe in it. That was early 70s. However, my mom passed away in 1978. She died of cancer, and I was 15 years old. And it was the 10th of October that she passed, which was like 47 years ago. And I was 15, just turning 15, going into 16 in December. And the whole family came over, and they tried to comfort the family, as many people do. The reason I tell you this is because this story isn't true. This is not even the real doll. The real doll is Raggedy Ann doll. This is a Hollywood money grab, right? And the reason I tell you this is because I have some kind of insight with the family. I know John Zaffis, who is the nephew of Ed and Lorraine Warren, and he's a friend of mine. And John asked me one time over to his house to ask me if I wanted to be involved with the occult and involved with exorcisms and involved with the paranormal. True story. Went over to John's house. I spent about 2 hours with him. He lives in Connecticut. He told me that all of this story of Annabelle is not true as far as Hollywood is concerned, right? All of this phenomenon, these horror stories, it's not true. However, he opened my eyes to the paranormal in the sense that when my mom died, a few days later, which was October 13th, I had a paranormal experience. True story. I was lying in bed on October 13th, Friday the 13th. I was wide awake. Now, there's two explanations for this. One is that I imagined it, the other one that is real. I can't think of another explanation. But what happened was, I was lying in bed after the whole family left. I was wide awake. I don't know what time it was, but I know I wasn't sleeping. I was not sleeping. And all of a sudden, I heard a voice from the corner of the room, and it said, "I'm all right." Now, it was not my mother's voice. It was not my mother's voice. I don't remember my mother's voice now. I can't remember it. We didn't have, other than, cassette tapes and all that back there. We didn't have cell phones, so my mom's not on video. She's not so I don't remember my mom's voice, but I know that week I would remember my mom's voice. So this voice said, "I'm all right." And I was lying in bed, wide awake. I never fell asleep, and I said, "Mom, I don't ever want to hear this again." And then I heard it again. I heard the same voice the second time. Second time. This is not a story I'm telling you. This is what actually happened to me. Then I said, "Mom, I don't understand." And I heard it a third time. And I got up, walked down the hallway in my house in New Fairfield. We had a raised ranch. And I said to my father, at this point, my brother came in from Missouri, and he said to me, "Gregory, if anybody was going to experience something like that, that would be you." Now, I've been on David Letterman. 6 million people saw me a few years ago. I had, maybe a couple weeks of fame. I got telephone numbers and faxes and emails from people. I've traveled the world doing lectures. Nothing compares to that experience that I had. But the way I try to make sense of it is either I was imagining it, right, or it was real. Now, I'm not here to preach to you. I tend to believe it was real. And the reason I tell you these things that I've done is anything that I've ever done in my life is nothing compared to having that experience. In the last year or two, doing these paranormal talks, people have come up to me and they've told me about their haunted houses. They've told me about people showing up at their rooms. So the more I talk about this, which I normally wasn't going to talk about this, I'm finding confirmation that I'm not alone. And I really, truly believe that Halloween is about recognizing that one thing, that we're not alone. So whether you believe that or not, whether you believe I hallucinated it, or whether I was comforting myself, that's fine. I understand. I remember listening to the Warrens thinking this is not true. But I do believe in the supernatural. So we're going to set the stage and do something a little different. This is called the haunted. And I need someone that needs closure. Someone here that needs closure. In other words, an adult that is looking for a sign, because we all need closure sometimes. We need to know that our loved ones are with us. And maybe we see a cardinal, maybe we pick up a penny, maybe somebody calls us, which is fine. But if you're open to it, is there anyone here that would like to think about a loved one and perhaps get a message from me to you? Okay, we haven't, okay. Why don't you come up here and have a seat right here. I'm not even going to ask her name. I'm not going to ask for applause. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you, I asked a few people to, before, I was here at 5. People started coming in 5:30. So I asked a few people to write down some names of people that they love, because a lot of times people forget. So we put them in a box, and they're over here near the candle. But I'm going to ask you for the first time. You didn't do it earlier, did you? Oh, you did? Okay, that's fine. So I'll give you this pen. And what we'll do is I'll have you write the first name, just like Greg, G-R-E-G, which is, my name. But this is a loved one. Maybe it's a mother, maybe it's a grandfather. Last night I was in upstate New York, and a person came through, and it was for the librarian, and it was his great-great-grandmother. Never forget it. We didn't have it on video, but it was a beautiful experience. So I have a blank card. She's going to put energy into this card. So what you'll do is you'll first take it like this, and you'll put energy into it as you're thinking of your loved one. So let's do that first. I'll take the pen. All right, so think of your loved one. Think of your loved one. Okay, good. Now what I'd like you to do is print the first name. So if it's Greg, G-R-E, and then put it face down so that I'm not aware of it. I'm not aware of it at all. Now, is there anyone else in the room that would like to participate with this experiment? Just raise your hand. Okay, 2 people in the front row, 3rd, okay, good. Did you do that? Okay, good. And I want to make it clear that we haven't worked this out. I'm going to put this in here and in this bag. But I also have others that are blank. Okay, so who would like one? You, okay. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Anybody else? I have a couple more. Okay. Blank. And I have 2 more. Okay, great. Excellent. So if you have a card, please stand up. Just stand up. All right. So take your card just like she did and put it in your hand. You're not going to write anything on it. It's blank. Yours is the only one that has a name on it. Hold it in your hand and think of your loved one. Okay, and then hand me the card and sit down. 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 These are all blank. The one that you wrote is in the envelope, in my wallet. So we're going to put that together like that. Now, if you could just mix these up so no one, face down, so that no one knows where the blanks are and where the one that you wrote on. So we have energy from a few people here, but we have more than energy in the sense that she wrote the name. Good? All right. Very good. Fair? Okay. So what people would do is they would take a spirit board, and this was made for me 2 years ago, specially made for me. and they would put themselves into a trance by perhaps looking at a candle. Yes. I'm seeing, this is not you, I'm seeing a female. I'm seeing a female. I'm seeing a female. And it just popped into my head. Now this is a common name, so I know it's more than one of you. I wrote down Mary. Raise your hand if you came here with your heart thinking of Mary. Mary? Mary? Anybody else? I know there's more. Okay. Right over your shoulder is a cauldron. Now, did you hear that? I was nowhere near that. Okay, this is getting a little weird. This is getting very strange. There's a cauldron of names that were written down prior, about 5:30 quarters. Could you just reach in, step big, just grab one. Don't look at it. Don't let me see it either. And just hold it in your hand, one of you. Just grab one. Just grab it, hold it in your hand. Now, here's a little secret. The cauldron, right, is a symbol of feminine energy. It's about creation. When you see the witches gathering around the cauldron is about intuition, it's about spells, it's about, magicians use it too, it's about creating something out of nothing, right? Think of the womb. That is a symbol of the womb. It's a symbol of new birth. It's a symbol of manifestation. Take a look at what you just picked out. Read it to yourself, but don't say it out loud. This is what I'm getting. Wait a minute. It's a female. Well, I think it's a female. Can you read what you got, or is it blank? Yes or no? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, you can read it, so it's not scribble. This is who came to me just now. What do you have?
Denise.
That's what I have.
Oh my God.
That's really weird. Okay. All right. All right, hold on. Shh. Just one second. Just one second. This is a male figure. My brother was named Bob, but this came through as Robert. Who? Somebody was thinking of Robert? Robert. Okay, who's Robert?
An uncle.
An uncle. Very close? How did he pass?
Heart attack.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, spirits, if there's anyone else in here, just give us a sign. Just give us a sign through my arm. Lillian. Lillian? Who said something? Lillian. Who's Lillian?
My mother.
How long has she been gone?
25 years.
Were you there when she passed? Do you feel guilty about that?
Yes.
Okay. So she wants you to know everything's okay. She wants you to know she's okay. She wants you to know you don't have to be guilty of that. I don't know, did you ever feel really bad about that? Okay, so let's do this. Okay, it's a male figure. It's a male figure. Yes? Okay. I'm going to write down what I think, but I'm not going to let you see it. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to cover it like that. Okay, so I'm committed. I think the person that you're thinking of, I'm not sure, Here's how we're going to know for sure. Before my mom died, I bought her a beautiful jewelry box. I don't travel with it because I've been all over the world, and I don't, you know, I keep it in my house. But this is a jewelry box that reminds me of my mom. And things have special meaning. Inside my mom's jewelry box, I literally have the rose petals from the day we buried her. So I remember, she's buried in Danbury, Connecticut. I remember standing around the grave. I remember them dropping it in. I remember the flowers, the roses, and I took some of the roses when I was 15. I'm 62, I'll be 63 Christmas. I still have them, and they're in the jewelry box. So I'll think about her on Halloween. I'll think about her on her birthday. There's no way you know where this name is here on these cards. We have blank cards. We have your loved one's card in there somewhere. Do you know where it is? I don't either. So what I'm going to ask you to do in a moment is to pick up a card. In fact, why don't you spread them out so they're all spread face down so you have no idea. Even if I could do sleight of hand, which I can't because I'm not touching any of them, she has, you just keep them all face down. Okay. So how many you got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Okay. So she's thinking of her loved one. You don't know any of those people's loved ones. Look out there. You don't know their tribe. You don't know their ancestors. Every single person in this room has a story of an ancestor, of a loved one, of a mother or father. But you have a story of your person. So as you're thinking of him, because I know it's a male figure, I'm going to call in the spirit and see if he gives you a sign. So pick up one of the cards in your hand and hold it face down. And what you're going to do is you're going to put it, not yet, but you're going to put it in the box. Not yet. And it's very important that you do not touch the box. You don't touch the wood. You don't touch the chains. You want a sign that you have not. A lot of times our imagination, we make up signs for comfort. This can't be you doing this. This has to be your loved one. So put that card in the box without touching the box. Good. That card is blank. That was one person here that you don't know. Look at another card and pick it up and do the same exact thing that you just did. Gingerly, slowly, thinking of your loved one. That card is blank. That means those two cards that you put in there have to do with the stories of their ancestry, of their trauma, of their loved ones. There's 4 cards on the table. Do you feel drawn to one of them? Go slow this time. Don't touch the chains. And let it happen. Blank, blank, blank. Who's Pete?
My late husband,
How long has he been gone?
4 years.
So that's raw. Let's see. Pick up the last card and see if it says Pete. What does that mean to you?
That he's with me.
That's what Halloween is all about. What does this say?
Here.
I am here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Halloween. Good night, everyone.